Okay, let's have a look at the toolchain for iiRDS. iiRDS refers to three phases of the technical communication workflow. It has impacts in authoring, publication, and in processing, or you could also say that the content delivery world or stage. So to actually generate smart content and using iiRDS, you need to take actions in all three phases. The first is the authoring phase. To get smart content, you need to author in a structured way. So you need to have can assign metadata to documents, but actually smart content needs topics and fragments which are structured in a specific way and which have metadata assigned. Usually technical communication people work with XML editors or component content management systems, but you could also assign metadata to other source formats like Markdown, ASCII-Doc. It's just more complicated. But XML is a good basis for structured content and for smart content. Then from this content, you need to generate iiRDS, and this is the actor in this is the iiRDS generator. So the iiRDS generator, which can be a script, which can be a function of your CCMS, or which can be a converter like Plasmita, which is a software tool. They take the structured content, create the output formats like PDF, HTML, or just XML, and map the metadata that is embedded in the content or assigned to the content and generate the RDF file with the iiRDS metadata from that. And then they pack that all together in a package, and then you have an iiRDS package. That's what I said before. This iiRDS is just a transport format from the authoring world to the delivery world. And then you can take that package, import it into something that we call iiRDS consumer, and which can be a cloud service or a content delivery platform like, I don't know, RWS, Trillion Docs, or that could be Ampelis Service Express, Ampelis Content Express, Fluid Topics, you name it, and which is able to process that package, extract the content, extract the metadata, and put all that into its database, and then makes the content available. So that is very important to understand. iiRDS is not a tool. iiRDS is a transport format, which needs to be processed by an application, because an application provides your users with all the functions that they need: searching, filtering, browsing content, or looking through a table of contents. This is all done on the content delivery end. Before I show you some examples, there are some tools. Sorry, there was a question. Feedback path. The feedback path is something that you need to implement in the processing world, so to say, on the content delivery platform. But you can use iiRDS metadata to actually get that feedback back to the people who take care of it. So on your content delivery side, for example, on your content delivery platform, you need functions for statistics. So these search terms provided no hit list. There were no results. These were the most common search terms, for instance, or maybe you have a rating. People say this content was helpful or not, or they can even provide feedback. So you can collect all that on your content delivery platform, but to get it back to the authoring, you need the ID constructs I showed you, the identities and parties, and maybe so that you can actually say, okay, this feedback referred to this topic. And by the way, in the CCMS, this is the topic with this ID. So then people can actually consider and remedy the errors and update the content and then deliver it back into this chain. So iiRDS itself does not provide functions. The functions must be provided by your content delivery platform, but you can use iiRDS metadata to support those functions. Does that answer the question? Okay. There are some tools that are provided by the iiRDS consortium itself, because we think that the adoption of the standard is supported if you have free tools that actually support you in generating iiRDS packages or checking whether your packages are correct, just playing around with the format and see how it works out for you. So we have the iiRDS Open Toolkit. I can actually show that, hopefully. Thank you. Which was programmed by Plasmita, which is also a separate tool for tagging content based on AI. And the iiRDS Open Toolkit provides a nice workflow where you can actually switch to English here, where you can put in your content and a PDF, for example. Then you can assign metadata to, if you have more than one topic, to each individual topic, for instance, and then you can generate a clean iiRDS package in the end. And this could be useful, for example, if you evaluate using a content delivery portal that supports iiRDS and you provide some sample data to the vendor, for example. And then this is very useful. The second tool that the consortium provides is the validation tool, which comes from the other end. You already have an iiRDS package. Maybe your system vendor said, okay, yes, of course, we can do iiRDS, this and this we generated in the CCMS. But your content delivery provider says this package is not valid. And then you are in the middle of those two. So we thought that a validation tool would be a good idea to actually validate packages whether they are standard compliant. And this is what this tool does. And there's a YouTube video because the validation tool is rather new. It was presented at the TC World Conference in fall last year. And you can watch the YouTube video if you want to know more about this. There are some tools on the market that provide support iiRDS out of the box, and this is not complete. This is what I know, but there may be more systems, and also you can enable most systems for iiRDS with connectors, APIs, transformation scripts, etc. But there are some CCMSs that support iiRDS metadata out of the box, and there are a lot of content delivery solutions that can process iiRDS packages. And in the middle, you can use converters like Plasmita, CREX, or, for example, DIDA plugins for converting DIDA to iiRDS. I wanted to show you some examples of how iiRDS looks at content delivery portals, and I think we still have time. And a nice example is this one here, which is a prototype of iiRDS and the little fan I showed you in a semantic content delivery portal. It's from Ampolis. Should that have open? There it is. Let me switch the language. Okay, so this is, so the portal is not customized in any way. It's just a demo portal, but it shows how intelligent information is actually connected in a semantic network. So the first thing is that we can start typing like in Google and find concepts based on the iiRDS vocabulary. And then because the full text search is based on the concept and not on the languages, we find 3 languages, topics in 3 languages that actually deal with the rotor, the Japanese, the English, and the German. Because it's not looking for the term, it's looking for the concept. And here on the left, you can see, sorry, I have to switch up my Teams. I did that already. We should stop sharing for a minute and do it again. Keeps coming back. Okay, let me share my screen again. Okay, here we go again. You see my screen, Susanna?
Yes, we see a screen.
Yep. Great. So, and this portal actually processes iiRDS out of the box and generates search facets based on the iiRDS metadata. You can see that here. So I looked for the rotor. These are all topics describing the rotor. And then I could now also say, okay, I don't want to see things from other product lifecycle phases. Just tell me how to assemble the rotor. And then I'm down to 2 hits. So iiRDS metadata can be translated to search facets in a very easy way and can be used for semantic search. They can also be used. I now clicked on one of the topics. You see all the metadata assigned to this topic here, which is very nice. And I can read it, but I can also find related topics. And the nice thing is that the related topics here in this portal are not actually entered by the technical writer. They are calculated based on the semantic similarity of the topics. So are these topics, do the topics have any similarity when it comes to their metadata? And I can actually show that. So this topic is related, the mounting the rotor or the telescopic rod is related to adjusting the height, because both are tasks, both are used in operating instructions, both should be done by the operator, and both refer to the same components. So they are very, very near each other, and that's why they are suggested as related topics here. So this is a nice example of the semantic network of information I was talking about. Okay. And another one that supports it out of the box is the GDS system, which is called iiBrowse. Not have open. There you go. And I can do the same here. You will find this content a lot in the with the vendors, because this is like open source content, the fan, and that's why you will find that a lot. And here you can see the same. They transfer the metadata to search facets. So when you search for rotor, we have 4 tasks that actually refer to the rotor. And we have 3 reference topics, technical data, for example, or error codes that refer to the rotor. So this is very similar to what I showed you from Empolis, but as you can see, you can get that from various suppliers.